All right, let's jump right in. Today we're unpacking a process that's a huge deal for so many people, getting your own immigration records from the US government. It's called a CBP FOIA request, and while it's your right to get this info, let me tell you, the journey can be a real headache.
Just think about that for a second. Seriously, for a lot of folks, this isn't some deep philosophical question. It's their reality. Your chance at a visa, winning a legal case, or just getting your status cleared up, it can all come down to a piece of paper you filed years ago. The stakes are incredibly high, and it all starts with getting your hands on that file.
Okay, so let's get into the weeds here. Before we talk about the challenges, we've got to understand what's actually in these records and why they're so incredibly important to begin with.
So at the heart of all this is the Freedom of Information Act. You've probably heard it called FOIA. This law basically says you have the right to ask for your records from any federal agency. When it comes to your immigration history, the agency you're talking to is U.S. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP. They're the ones holding onto that data.
So, what's actually in these files? Why all the fuss? Well, we're talking about the official government record of every time you've entered or left the US. It includes details about any run-ins you've had with immigration officials, and even information on detentions at the border. This stuff is the absolute foundation for a visa application, or for clearing up any mix-ups about your status. It's critical.
Now here's the catch. While you legally have a right to this information, actually getting it is a whole other story. In reality, the process can feel like you're trying to run an obstacle course in the dark.
And this is where it gets really frustrating for a lot of people. The source material we're looking at calls it a minefield. You make one tiny technical error, miss one little detail, and bam, your request can get flat out rejected or just stuck for months and months, putting your entire life on hold.
And no, that's not an exaggeration. Some of these requests need a special fingerprint card. And if just one of those prints is a little smudged or blurry, the whole thing can be tossed out right away. It's that demanding, that precise.
And you can see here, these aren't just small oopsies. They have massive consequences. Those blurry fingerprints we just talked about, that's an immediate rejection. You forget to list an old name or a previous address, get ready for months of delays. And if you mail your application to the wrong government office, it might as well have disappeared into a black hole. So when you look at all these traps, it's easy to see why people feel so overwhelmed. The source material really hammers this point home, that the whole process can feel like it was almost designed to be confusing.
With the landscape this tricky, it's only natural that people would look for a better way. So let's talk about how folks are now tackling this bureaucratic maze with a little bit of help.
To deal with these exact challenges, specialized services have started to pop up. Think of them as expert guides. Their whole goal is to walk you through the process and make sure your application is perfect, so it gets approved on the very first try.
And the way they work is pretty smart. They zero in on the biggest reasons for failure. First, they handle the fingerprinting professionally, so that card is flawless. Then they guide you through all the paperwork to make sure every single crucial detail is in there. And finally, they double-check that it's going to the right office, so it doesn't get lost in the system.
And this brings up a really important question from the source material. I mean, we're talking about your personal immigration history. It's incredibly sensitive stuff. So a huge benefit of going with a professional service is that they guarantee your private data is kept secure through the whole thing.
So, what's the secret sauce for a successful application? According to our source, this expert approach is really built on 3 core ideas, or pillars.
The first pillar is precision. This is all about nailing every single detail, getting it right the first time. It means making sure every form, every date, and every fingerprint meets those super strict government rules. This is how you avoid that instant rejection we talked about.
Pillar number 2 is privacy. And this connects right back to that huge question of trust. It means having ironclad policies to protect your sensitive information from the moment you start the process until you've got those records safely in your hands.
And the final pillar is all about results. This is where experience really pays off. It's about knowing all the common mistakes and stopping them before they can happen. Because the goal isn't just to send in a form, right? It's to get a fast, successful result.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together. We've seen why these records are so vital, the major hurdles you can face trying to get them, and the core principles that lead to success.
Now, this number here, this is the average wait time if
And that's a big if everything goes perfectly. That's 1 to 3 months of waiting. Any of those errors we discussed can drag this out way, way longer. So getting it right isn't just about success, it's about time.
And when you look at the main reasons people get held up or rejected, it all comes back to what we've been talking about. Fingerprint goofs are a huge one, followed right behind by incomplete forms and sending a request to the wrong place. These are the big three that turn a simple right into a complicated mess.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought from the source material. Now that you know how precise you have to be and how easily things can go wrong, are you ready to tackle it all by yourself? It's a powerful question, and it really gets to the heart of this whole challenge.
If you want to avoid the stress, delays, and costly mistakes that can derail your CBP FOIA request, Compliance Officers is here to guide you every step of the way. Our experienced team handles the details with precision, safeguards your privacy, and works to get your results faster. Reach out today at info@complianceofficers.org or call us at +1 305 500 0185 to get started with a process you can trust. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.